Hi, I'm Collin, and today we're looking at Robot Quest, a game by Perfect Day and Wise Wizard Games. It's a mecha melee King of the Hill deck building type game for up to 4 players. What's the quest again?
Battle bots!
First thing you get to do is choose your bot, and then fill up its health bar with delicious cubes. 1 for each wrench according to its card, including 1 blue knockout cube. Each bot will spawn in at one of these points around the board, unless you're the pug. The smug, seemingly harmless, little... Each person gets a starting deck of mostly batteries, a hammer, and jump jets. Players will shuffle their deck, draw 5 cards, and then play all of them on their turn. Any cards that aren't used at the end of the turn will be discarded. Your first hand could be something like this. Oops, all batteries. That's okay, because batteries will be spent to move your bot around the board either toward the blue center square that gains you a victory point at the beginning of each turn, or one of the special tiles. Starting your turn on a special tile will give you a bonus. This one lets you heal 1 damage and gain a victory point. This lets you draw a card and discard a card. The solar panel adds an additional battery for you to use on your turn. The scrap heap lets you get rid of a card from your deck by taking one from your hand and putting it in the scrap pile. Batteries are also used to buy better cards from the store. When you buy them, they go straight into your discard pile and get shuffled back in once your deck is depleted. Jump jets give you movement, which, unlike batteries, can only be used to move your bot. This card also gives you the ability to hop over obstacles, including other bots. There are 2 types of attacks in the game, melee and ranged. The hammer you start with is a melee attack, denoted by the little boxing glove. The POW symbol indicates the amount of damage the attack does. You must be adjacent to the target in order to hit. You cannot hit diagonally with a melee attack. The other type of attack is ranged. It has a little arrow with the number indicating the specific range. You calculate this by counting the number of squares diagonally from your bot's position. Any bot in the square drawn from that furthest box is considered in range. As long as you have line of sight, drawing an imaginary line between the center of your bot and your opponent, you can attack it. Whenever you hit another bot, you take from their health bar and add it to your pile of victory points. Each red cube is worth 1 point, with the final cube, the blue knockout cube, being worth 2 points. If you don't have any attacks in your hand, there is a third option.
The push, baby. It's la push.
You can use 2 movement to push a bot around the board, out of the center, onto a trap, into a wall, into another bot. When you push, you move the bot 1 space away and occupy the space that they were in. If you push a bot into an immovable object, they take a point of damage. You can only do this once per surface in order to stop a player from smacking over and over like a lost Roomba. If you're knocked out, your bot comes off the board and you spawn back in at the beginning of your turn with a full health bar, including a blue knockout cube, and play as normal. If a respawning player can't grab a blue cube from the pool, the game is over and the player with the most victory points wins. So what do I think of Robot Quest Arena? Well, I think it's a great teach. I think that it's really easy to pick up, and especially for people who have never done a deck builder, having a physical totem enact what your cards are doing really helps you get into the game. I know for a lot of new players, a deck builder can be intimidating because it's all systems, and it feels like if you don't know the cards that are already in the deck, you're already at a disadvantage. Here, I've seen it go both ways. I've seen people just go around pushing bots on the board, pushing people into traps, hitting people with just hammers, win because of how quick they can do that rather than sit and build a deck of really nice cards. There's some great replayability built into the game with the different characters. When Petrie knocks out a bot, you get an extra victory point and get to draw a card. As I alluded to earlier, Pug gets to spawn into the middle of the board, a sneaky good ability. Strider gets a range 2 laser attack that they can spend 2 battery to activate once during their turn. Crate is a big boy, and therefore has more health than the other bots, and he takes an additional movement to push. So my only real criticism of this game is that it's over so quickly the decks don't fully get built. And even when they do get built, the game is over extra quickly. So there's some really good cards in here. And people will be like, oh, it's broken. But like, if all the cards are broken, is it broken? So it's that's the only true criticism I have for it. The only other thing I could say is I was initially put off by the art. It's just like this looks like a game for kids, not necessarily for me. But I gotta say, I truly enjoy it, and now I think the brutality of this game is enhanced by how cute everything looks. So, give it a chance. Don't judge a game by its cover, right? So, that's Robot Quest. Well, if you like board games and things that are good, you should subscribe to the Meeple Mountain channel in order to catch up on board game news and see new videos in the future. In the meantime, I've got a vacuum cleaner to rematch, and he's a dirty fighter. BattleBots!